Welcome to the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Julian. And this is
the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
Do you believe we're on episode 4 already?
Nope.
This is episode 4.
That's insane. And I'm still having a blast.
And we're literally about to record 5 and 6 next week.
Yeah, because
That's
someone
insane.
wants to not be here.
I'm counting down. I'm excited.
He's like, I'm not even sorry.
Well, should I lead into my intentions for the week? Because that has a lot to do with it.
Yes, you know that's what we start with.
So for my intentions for this week, I have to before we go. I guess I don't have to, but I'm forcing myself really. And kind of Alyssa is on the boat at that point, but we got to get ahead on reactions.
Oh my God.
We got to get a week's worth of reactions for
it's
while
gonna
I'm
be
gone.
such a busy week.
Plus 2 weeks of 2 weeks worth of podcast episodes. And I want to edit them before I go because that just makes life easier.
I was kind of thinking that. And I was like, I wonder, like I was figured you would do this one, but when you're gone, if you'd be like, hey, you need to edit this one.
I might do it on the plane.
And I was going to talk to you to be like, hey, can you just make sure these are done?
I might do it on the plane. I don't know. I'm debating it. I don't know. We'll see. But
If you do it on the plane, can I have access to it then?
with the podcast?
Yeah. Or will you have to upload it?
I mean, I would still upload it.
Oh.
I would upload. Like, I could probably do it all on the plane or even from the hotel room. That's what I was thinking about doing, but I might just get it done before I go home.
I didn't think of that. I figured you would do it before you leave. I definitely would not have been like, hey, while you're away.
Well, that's what
I wouldn't want to put that burden on you when you're like literally on vacation with your family.
I was thinking about having something from my channel record. Oh, I just slid my
That
foot.
scared me.
My foot slipped. Anyway, I was thinking about having something recorded for my channel and just edit it kind of while I'm on the plane because I'm going to need something to do for 3 hours.
Oh, true.
So I figure maybe I'll edit a video while I'm up there.
Him and his new Mac, his new headphones.
Yeah. So I figured maybe I'll do that, but I don't know. I don't even know if we'll have time to record for my channel. So there's that.
Depending on the video.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on the video. So we'll see, but we're counting down, man. So that's my intentions for this week is really grind hard, get these videos done, make sure they're, still high quality, but definitely done before I go.
It's funny because my intentions for the week also have to do with YouTube. So it's funny that you're kind of on a YouTube base. I literally wrote getting more productive with YouTube because I know I have a video that still can be looked at and put up. I should probably get on that. I've really wanted to work on the description for our Alyssa and Julian channel because I keep doing the videos and putting stuff in there and it just looks not messy, but I feel like it could be more organized because that's just me. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh. So I've been wanting to do that. Still haven't done that. I get really excited for these podcasts, but I feel like I need to, plan more because granted, we changed the topic kind of last minute, but even if we stayed with the topic we were gonna do, I didn't have this episode planned at all. So I literally did it right before we were setting up while a bottle was warming up. So I definitely want to make sure I have the episodes for the week planned, especially next week because we have to do 2. I don't want to sit here and try to be like, oh, wait, hold on.
So I also probably should look at those because I'll have a better understanding of how the flow of the show goes. I feel like I don't have a good understanding of the flow of the show sometimes. So that would be
the show. I like that.
Yeah. So I feel like that would be a good thing for me to start looking at.
I like it. That's why if you're watching this on YouTube, I have this notebook in front of me because I have my plans. Not that I want this to go and make it I definitely don't want this to sound scripted, but I want kind of to know a flow that we can go into and then conversations just kind of branch off of little topics like that.
So speaking of conversations branching off and flow of the show, can I announce my idea? Are we doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So my idea is you guys let me know if this is something. I
literally have that at the end. So I had it on here, but you can say it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it now. You guys, I thought about this today and I was like, it would be so cool if you guys asked a specific question for each of us that we answered a week. We may not both answer, but you ask Alyssa a specific question or you ask me a specific question. So I figure you guys could put
both.
those in or both. But I feel like we could focus on one particular one.
That's true.
In the videos.
Sorry, I don't mean to interject.
No. I'm just saying that's just the idea. If you think, we could bounce it off, and you guys can also let us know, because we run by committee. It's not like a dictatorship. So if you guys have ideas for that, and definitely questions, like ask us questions, because I will literally start this as soon as next week.
Ask some deep questions. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, literally.
We already had a deep one, but
we have a lighthearted show today, kind of just fun, like Dream World Land. Not even Dream World Land, because I feel like there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this, because we'll get into it. Let's just get into the show. Are you ready as you chug your water? Are you ready?
It gets so hot in here with everything set up. I'm like, I'm thirsty.
But yeah, are you ready for this week's topic?
I'll let you announce it, since you came up with this as well.
I love this idea because this was introduced to me years ago, but it's helped me so much. It's a question, but like the answer to the question gets so deep, and it's so like deep thought that goes into it. It's, if you could do anything in your life without failing, what would you do? And
what would you do?
I'm going to go right into it. You guys know what I'd be doing. I'd be 110% doing YouTube. Like, that's just me, man. But my thing is, I don't know if don't get me wrong, I love doing reactions. I don't know if that's what I would be doing on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like there's so much more that I love that I feel like I can't get into yet, because either A, I don't have the resources, or B, it's too saturated, or I'm not in the right place to do what I want to do. But let me tell you guys, if I could have it my way, I think we would have all three of these channels blown up. All three of these channels will have their subscriber plaques. All three of these channels would be full operating channels with like 100. Yeah, yours, mine, and we have 4. Wow, I forgot about the podcast channel.
And podcast.
Wow, we have 4 channels. Jeez. Okay, well, all 4 of them would be booming for sure. Which is it again, and that's why we do this exercise, to kind of see what we'd be doing. Because the reason why is, at the end of the day, if you're doing something right now that you wouldn't be doing without fail, you kind of probably shouldn't be doing it. Like, why are you doing something if you're not fully interested in it and you're not passionate about it? Like, if it's something you wouldn't do without a money factor, without the idea of what if I fail, like, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, because you're not clearly passionate about it enough. When I say I wouldn't do reactions, I don't think I would do reactions as much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would be a lot more of those like videos that like I enjoy to make. And a lot of the videos I enjoy to make, I just don't have the funds to pull off. Like, man, I had a crazy idea that I wanted to pull off this summer. I just didn't have the money to do it.
What was it?
That hide and seek around New York City. And then like, I wanted you guys to like hunt me around New York City. Like, I had those 2 videos I was going to do back to back. Like, I was trying to go in deep. I was trying to book a hotel room, literally film one day, film the second day, and then go home. I was trying to pay for everybody's transportation. Like, I was trying to make it like a legit production. I was ready. But a lot of things obviously came in the way, because like once you start planning it out, because I wanted to give away like $1,000 per video. So once you start planning out off of just talking basic numbers, you're looking at $4,000, at least to start off. So if you do $1,000 per video per winner, like it's already $2,000 for that. Plus, you got to get a couple hotel rooms for the people you fly out.
Depending on how many people.
I mean, some people could share rooms, but you're still talking 2 to 3 hotel rooms.
Say depending on how many people come and who knows who. Some people might be comfy.
And in the city, like it's expensive. Yeah, it gets expensive.
Then what you're talking, train tickets really aren't that cheap either.
Yeah, I mean, train tickets, so that's the least of my worries, because it's like, it does add up. I mean, $30 per person, round trip is a lot. So,
because even if you're talking like 5 people, like that's almost 150, almost $200.
Yeah, literally just that.
So they're not like the worst, but they definitely are. Not to mention, get costly in that.
Not to mention though, like if I'm paying that much for a video, I need the production quality to be 110%. Like at that point, I would be like, yo, I need a person filming me. I need everyone filming themselves. Like I would be on it 110%.
Then you need them. Like, so basically, I feel like it wouldn't even, for you, it probably wouldn't get too complicated. But then for me, I'm thinking like, oh, you need to make sure you're recording. Oh, you need to send me what you have. Oh, I need to put this all. To me, I'd be like, oh, but to you, you're like, yeah.
I know because the idea of the video, I probably shouldn't be doing. I'm probably just giving out free content. Like, oh yeah, here's for someone who has the idea. But I mean,
if you do it, give him his credit.
I mean, please, like, you don't have to. Obviously, like everyone's, doing these ideas. I just feel like New York's just such a big place, and no one's really doing it in the city, man. And like we're right here. You know what I mean?
Imagine being like that bystander in New York, and you just see all these people running around, being like, "Wow, I saw him run over here. Oh,
did you see him? Yeah,
he went this way."
That's what I'm saying. Like
people would be like, "What the heck?"
That video would go.
They would think
crazy.
it's like a flash mob.
They would think probably something like that. And that's why I love that type of stuff. And I have some of these grand ideas, but I just don't have the resources to pull them off. But trust me, when I get there, man. And that's what I mean. Like when I say like the city's right there, like that's a resource to us. That's not like most people have to get a plane ticket, and plane tickets are super expensive right now. Most people have to get a plane ticket to get to the city.
Especially into New York.
And that's what I'm saying. So like, that's why I feel like I had an advantage there, but unfortunately, it would almost be cheaper to be like, hey, come with me today and I'll get you another train ticket tomorrow rather than stay the night. But it's still hard because now that's people's availability. Mm-hmm. We don't really live around a lot of influencers. So I'm asking regular, everyday people who work and have lives to do this. And it's hard, man. So like, that's the other thing. I probably would be out in more of an influencer popular area like LA, Texas, Florida, somewhere around there. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's honestly top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people literally all over the place, but for some reason, definitely LA or Cali anyways, outskirts of LA and Florida. But it's actually crazy. I didn't know like so many people live in Texas.
Yeah, because Texas is about to be its own country, man. Watch out. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they're trying to be their own country.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to secede. Yeah, they're trying to secede, man.
They're trying to leave the U.S. like that?
That's what I saw online, bro. I don't know how true it is.
Crazy.
You can't believe everything you see
Texas
online, people.
Being cut off.
Yeah, literally.
Like you cross this border, like
dude, they're trying.
That's
at least
crazy.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Why?
I don't know.
Anyways, I feel like a lot of people went to Texas because it was pretty cheap. I feel like everything's gone super skyrocket crazy. Do you think people would like come back to the US and like leave Texas if they became their own thing?
It depends. It depends on the laws, the government, whatever Texas set up. And because a lot of people
need a passport?
Yeah.
Really?
Because you're leaving the country at that point.
But what if you live in Texas? Are you just grandfathered in?
I mean, yeah, but you still need a passport to come to the US.
You think people in Texas would need one?
Yeah. Because you're no longer part of the
US.
That's crazy. To travel to the US, you would probably need
Texas
a passport.
Really trying to go all out. Texas is stressing me out right now.
Alyssa's like, yo, I need a passport to go to Texas.
Imagine, because like people that are born like now are like, oh wow, like Texas is their own country. And I'm like, yeah, they were a part of the US for X amount of years, and now all of a sudden they want to be Miss Independent over here.
They were their own area before that.
Really?
Yeah, like
did I even go to school? What the heck?
I was about to say they were their own, like, I don't know if they were a country, but they were basically like
they were like a
territory.
Mexico almost?
Not Mexico, but they were like before Puerto Rico and all those became like, dominions of the US. Mm-hmm. Texas was like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's not dominions. Insane. What's the word I'm looking for? The islands are they're not dominions of the US. What are they? I can't think of the name of them. A thing? Yeah, there's a specific word. Guys, I'm sorry. I can't think tonight. It's so late. I'm so sorry.
We didn't mean to go into a history.
Yeah, a geography lesson on the United States, but no, for real though, I would really make sure that I'm.
We're gonna lay in bed later, and Julian's just randomly gonna say this random word, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm so upset. Territories. They're territories. That's what they are. They're territories of the U.S.
Okay.
But anyway, back to what we were talking about. I would be making a lot of high quality content with all the best equipment. I would have a team. I would 110% have a YouTube team.
That'd be cool. That's actually
I don't want
cool.
to say I wouldn't be doing stuff on YouTube. I feel like I'd be doing a lot. And I would be doing a lot of the fundraising philanthropy stuff too. Like I would
Mr. Beast style.
No, I don't want to go that crazy because I feel like
But that's the vibe.
That's the vibe, yeah. But like I love what Ryan Trahan is doing with his series.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that. But I feel like what Mr. Beast does, nobody could be another Mr. Beast.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wouldn't want to try to be. I would want to do my own thing, but like I want to do it so differently and in such a special way that like no one's done it before.
Like it's your thing.
Yeah. So I think I'm on the right path now, tying it back to who I am today. I think I'm on the right path. Like I love what we do with the reaction channel. I really wish that my channel was a lot more, I don't want to say relevant, but relevant's not the word I'm looking for. Just a stronger performing channel. I wish it was. I mean, it's on its way. Like a lot of people are like starting to click on and kind of see that I've been, really putting a lot of work into my editing and put a lot of work into my content creation overall.
Speaking of that, I wanted to say that you had the video you dropped today. I think it was your Father's Day one.
Mm-hmm.
You had an edit in the beginning where I was like,
the blurring.
Maybe. It was like literally that first scene where like you were laying in bed. There was some type of...
It was black and white, but I blurred it in.
The way it looked, I was like, whoa.
So I'm gonna put you guys on game, right? So I put first scene, I took a screenshot of the clip because the clip was so short. So I just stretched out the picture, added a Gaussian blur effect, but instead of starting it at 100, I went to the beginning of it, put the blur. I mean, instead of starting it, so instead of having it, blur the whole time, I went to the beginning, clicked on for a keyframe, brought it up to like 100, and then went to the end and brought it to 0. So like it gradually cleared up as you went through listening to my voiceover.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying little things like that just to spice it up. I mean, there's a ton that you could do, and it's always the edits that look good are the ones that like you pair together to make look good. You know what I mean? Like I used to do those one and dones and kind of just be like, all right, this is good.
Yeah.
But the more I get to it, like I did another one in that video where I did like a color key, but also like a transition in there at the same time. Like it was that video, like it for to be edited in such a short amount of time, like it had a lot of like nuances to me in editing, at least.
That video was really good. I love the way that came out.
Thank you.
How was your Father's Day?
My Father's Day was really good.
We'll ask about that before I go into my...
My Father's Day was really good. So I will include that. I would definitely still, be a dad and be, doing my father's thing. Because that's what I do anyway. Like, that's one thing before you go into yours. I do want to say this. Like, I'm not too far off living now how I would, if my life was different. Yeah. There's a couple of things I would change with my life right now, but for the most part, everything is how I would be living, And like, aside from living in like a big city, like I'm really just doing what I want to do and living how I want to live and pretty much living on my own terms. So I can't complain. But at the same time, there's still a lot that I have to get better at and a lot of stuff that I have to do to get to the end goal of where I want to be. So I just love this conversation because I'm that type of person where I love to like talk about future, talk about like my dreams, my goals. Like,
yeah,
I'm here for it. Like if you want to talk about that stuff, man, like, and I like to listen to other people's too. So like, listen, if you ever want to talk to me about your goals, what you're after, please hit me up. I'm here for it.
Talking about future, like sometimes makes me nervous because I don't like being put on the spot about it. So sometimes people ask and I'm like, I don't know. But then at the same time, I'm just like, I really don't know. Like I could one day be like, oh, I want to do this. And the next day be like, nah, I think I'm going to do this. But then if you tell someone something and they're like, oh, how's this going? And you're like,
yeah, not
about that.
I've been
so
there.
I'm always like, I don't know. Like I just kind of go with the flow and whatever comes up, like comes up. Mm-hmm. Like if you would have asked me X amount of years ago, like, oh, like, what does your future like entail? Like, I definitely would never thought to tell you like, oh, YouTube and especially not podcast. Like I would definitely like I said, I've always wanted to do this. It's just I never would have actually thought like I'd be doing it. So if you would have been like, yeah, you're gonna start one, I'd be like, no.
That's what's so powerful about this, right? Like that's the question, because a lot of people don't start things because they're afraid of that awkward moment when it doesn't work out, having that conversation. But the power in this conversation is if you could do it without failure, but then you strip it back and you say, well, what's going to cause the failure?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you strip it down even more.
Some people don't even think that deep though.
Right. But if you strip it down even more, how can I get away from that failure? Then why not just do it? Why not just try it?
It's not even more so like, how can I get away? Because sometimes you need to go through the failure to actually like learn.
Well, I mean, like, how can I prevent
almost.
the failure? You know what I mean? Because I would say personally, I feel like I failed on the first channel.
Really?
Like on the gaming channel, like versus where I was going for versus what I got out of it. I think I failed. I got a lot of good skills, a lot of things I learned from it. But that first channel ended up being a failure versus what I wanted. A lot of people look at that and think I brought it very
really
far.
Surprising.
I personally view it as a failure.
But
great. A lot of people, would look at that and say, wow, you did really good. Almost 13,000 subscribers on it. Like
a lot of subbies.
Yeah. Cause I mean, it's going down every day, but by the time I quit, it was like 12.8K or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you're not on it anymore. So not that it's like expected, but it's almost expected
for it
to go down because
it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Like, in fact, I'd rather you unsub and go sub to the new channel. You know what I mean? But I always say that I view that channel as a failure only because I was going for 100K, million, and I landed at 13K. You know what I mean? So it's like, it wasn't because I don't blame anybody but myself for it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I was like, oh, I failed because the YouTube algorithm hate me. No, I didn't know what good content was. I fully acknowledge it. I did not know what good content was.
That's part of where I'm like, that's part of the failure. Like you didn't know you had to go through almost like now, you know, like 100%. What you want to do, where you're headed, like all that stuff. So mine is kind of almost the same. I wrote basically what I'm doing now, because then I feel like I could have more of a control almost, so to speak, over like balancing mom life and being a YouTuber. And I feel like if I had that under control, I really wouldn't have so much of a worry. I wouldn't have so much of a stress of, oh, I need to do this and I need to figure out when to get this done and this needs to get done, but this needs to get done at the same time. I feel like if I had these more under control and I knew I wasn't gonna fail in these things, so to speak, I feel like I wouldn't need like the 9-to-5 job I'm at.
Yeah.
Because then
100%.
I would be balancing like what I actually enjoy doing instead of trying to do this stuff. So reactions and podcasts and all this recording behind the scenes type of thing, plus obviously mom life 24/7 now, but then also including a 9-to-5 job now that I'm back to it. It's been a lot. It hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I honestly don't enjoy that as much as the other two. So if I knew I wasn't going to fail, I'd be like, hey, let's get this rolling.
That's the thing. And then you get into that spot where it's like, all right, now how can I make that happen? And I think that's the next step from this. It's like, so we get the goals out there, and me and Alyssa have already done this. So we're kind of giving the example for you guys, but we get the goal out there, right? So we know exactly what we're aiming for, what we're shooting for. And then at that point, we can kind of start lining things up to go that direction. Because trust me, before leaving my job, I had all this lined up and I said, wow, this is how I can make it happen. This is how I can make it work. So once I did that, we made it work.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? So, and it's been a year now.
That's crazy.
Like
it's literally been a year.
It's been a year.
Like last week or something, it was a year. Or 2 weeks ago was a year.
Yeah, because on Father's Day, I messaged Dion. I was like, yo, last year I was limping around there, man. I want to hurt myself.
Now you're like a year later, I'm still hurting. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I still
have
feel
a kid.
Yeah, literally. I'm like,
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's been a year and we figured it out, but a lot of it is
braver than I am.
a lot of it, not just being brave though, it's a lot of it is just knowing like this is my end goal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give you guys a perfect example. I'm a creative type, right? So in my brain, I get a lot of new ideas, a lot of new things.
Oh my God, his brain drives me crazy, and I don't even have it.
I get a lot of new goals, a lot of new things that I pop up into my head. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. I'll give you a perfect example. Real estate school popped into my head. I talked to Alyssa about it. I was like, maybe I could do real estate school. Like, it seems like it's not that bad. Like, and I'm a people person. I like to talk. I used to do cell phone sales and I was pretty good at it. So I'm sure I could sell houses. I decided that it wasn't a good plan. And the reason why I decided it wasn't a good plan is because I thought about it deep down in myself and I knew my end goal was to still be a YouTuber. So if my end goal was to still be a YouTuber and I've done everything I could to line it up and be the best YouTuber I could, if YouTube were to take off today or tomorrow, I would never look at real estate stuff again. So I will have wasted all that money that could have gone into my content, into my business.
Not even, I feel like your time too, because you could have spent that time doing content or something to help get your channel to where basically it would end up being. And that's where knowing the answer to this question makes life so much easier and so much easier to make decisions. Once you know how to make once you know what you want to do, you know how to make these decisions. You know where you're going in life, because guess what? If I didn't know that I wanted to be a YouTuber, I could have gone to real estate school and done it. And then what if YouTube takes off while I'm finishing up real estate school, where I just pay for all those expensive licenses and then I never look at it again? You're not even going to use it. So that's why I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, dude, you know what you want to do. Like, stop being scared. Because a lot of the issue is it's your brain just psyching you out, thinking you're not, like, making you think you're not good enough. It's imposter syndrome. It's making you think it's not you. It's like, what? Imposter syndrome. That's a thing? That's a thing. I've never heard that. You never heard of imposter syndrome? I had an ounce of, I don't want to say an ounce, I had a lot of imposter syndrome with my last channel that also caused a lot of failure for me, which is why I'm a lot more focused now, because I know what it is. That's crazy. I've never heard that before. Imposter syndrome is like when you're in this lifestyle, but you feel almost like it shouldn't be you. You don't deserve it. Like, you just feel like you're not yourself. Yeah. It's crazy. It's legit. Look it up. So, and I literally thought about Googling it, but I don't have my phone anymore. It's very common with YouTubers. I gotta start bringing my laptop to the podcast so I can pull it up for you. But it's very common with YouTubers and content creators. That's why a lot of people experience burnout. It's like really weird, but like I love that there's actually like a name for it. Well, because I feel like a lot of people definitely go through that. Yeah. I feel like maybe sometimes without even realizing you're going through that, it's at the point where you feel the burnout where you're like, oh, wow. It's not even. So that's why I'm like, oh, and it's not even just content creators. There's people like in their day-to-day lives that go through that. It's basically. Literally, I feel like I'd be like, yep, there's been a time I've done that, but I didn't know what I was going through. You feel like you don't deserve the life you have, or it's not real, it's not really yours. That's insane. It's like it's almost like you're watching your outer body. Like, no, that's not me. You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about that? Like, you know how people are in movies and like you're watching the movie. Like, have you ever thought about like you going through your life and like people are watching your life as if it's like a movie? I think that sounds weird, but I don't know how to explain it. No, I get what you're saying. I don't know if I think of it like on that scale. I more so think of it on a scale of like, I just wonder, sometimes I do wonder like what people like, how, like if I'm not around, how do you describe me? You know what I mean? I feel like that. That's like that. Oh my God. I was just mentioning. That's a question for me. Yeah. Remember I talked to you the other day where it's like, oh, I wonder what people's like, oh, this is her picture is, or, oh, this is him. Like if people were to say I'm not even on a picture though. Be like, oh, I wonder what picture they bring up. I've always thought about that. I'm just like, I never thought of it on a picture level. I saw that as like not a meme, but like I saw that on social media and I was like, that is a great question. I think I'm more of like a personality type where I'm just like, how would someone trying to describe my personality? How would they describe that personality? And would I like the way they're describing me? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like there's a lot of people that would try to describe me and do it completely wrong. Oh my God. Like they would completely butcher it. And
dude, like, nah, that's not me.
I feel like there could be like two types for you, because there could be like you're like
Can I give you an
outgoing.
example? Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
I feel like my grandmother, if she tried to describe me to somebody right now, would do a terrible job. I'm not even trying to be angry. I love you, but I feel like you do a terrible job trying to describe me right now. Because this is just like not understanding like what I do. You know?
I feel like that's what I was going to get into, that people could either have he's so outgoing, like super nice, bubbly, like that type of personality.
Yeah.
Or people can describe you as like, you're crazy, like he's insane, he's always working, always doing this, he's got to do this and that, like and people would be like, whoa,
right?
And I mean, if they see you actually like up and moving, they'll be like,
or there's other people that could describe me even worse. Like I think of the negative side. Some people could describe me as like a hermit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people would probably say like, oh, he doesn't go anywhere. He's always just sitting at home at the computer doing nothing. Like people don't know what I do. You know what I mean?
Realizing that there's actually so much work on the computer.
There's so much that I'm actually doing that they don't see. But
we have, because honestly, like you said, like that's when you were saying 3, and I was like 3. Like we got 4 channels we're working on.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, plus a lot of other side projects, like because I don't stop, man. Like I got other.
That's what I'm saying. People are like, oh, he's always moving. Like he's doing this and this. He doesn't relax. He doesn't chill. He doesn't. They probably get to the point where they're like, you don't even take time for yourself. Like you're just working. I
feel like there are people who would describe me like that. Actually, I feel like there's a couple people who describe me like that. But the other thing about that though is like I keep that personality side separate. Like unless you're really close to me, you don't know that about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And unless you watch me on YouTube, you don't know that about me. Because I talk to YouTube about it and I talk to people who I'm close with about it. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, like I brush off how much work I actually do to people. I don't know why I do it. But like people ask me like, oh, what you been up to? Oh, no, not much. Chilling. You know what I mean? Like
you just give like the easy answer.
Yeah, because a lot of times I don't really want to get into it just because I can have you here all day. Like we could talk like all day long.
If they don't understand, like
it makes it so hard.
It makes it so much harder because then like your excitement telling them just kind of dies down because like you're literally trying to explain like little detail. And then by then, like all you get is a okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, all right, what was the point of this?
I did all that and I'm just gonna get cool.
Yeah, right. Like, all right, what was the point in that? And then by that time I get that, oh cool, you're just tired of hearing me explain it. You don't really understand it.
That's what it is. Like, that's the vibe again.
Yeah, it's like, all right. But yeah. We just went off on a whole other
that's what I'm saying. That's why these conversations can branch, which I love it. But I like a little structure. I have to go through this with a little structure just so I know where to start and what I can come up with. But
which is understandable. I think we could do a whole episode on imposter syndrome, to be honest. I think that's a whole other like topic.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like thinking about it. I'm like,
I mean, we're not like, certified or like educated people on anxiety and imposter syndrome, but like from past experience, I feel like I could definitely talk about some of the things that went through my mind during it. You know what I mean? Even today, like I have moments where I'm like, whoa, am I really doing this right now? Like
I have that all the time.
Is this like, should I be doing this? Like, dude.
Now that we've like put a name to it, I'm like, wow, like, is it bad that I had that? Like, I feel like I have that a lot.
It's common, man. It's especially today because like, life is different than like what our parents was trying to prepare us for. Mm-hmm. Like our parents were trying to prepare us to go to college, get that, brick and mortar job with that degree and whatever.
I feel like the thing is that like no one talks about how hard it, like not hard. I don't know how to explain it because I never went through it personally, but I feel like it's a lot harder to get a job after college than people make it seem. Like people make it seem like you're going to go get that degree and bam, you're going to have a job. But people would be like 2, 3, 5 years after college without a job and they end up getting a job, not even with the degree they got from college.
And then it's less paying. So they got to try to pay back their student loans, their expensive student loans with
a job they expected to get almost and they didn't.
Yeah, with a,
or a not as well paying job.
Yeah, minimum wage job trying to pay back those student loans. Like it traps you sometimes.
That's insane.
I would say that's why I tell people what I'm telling you guys right now, man. The whole passion thing and like knowing what you're going after is really, really important because it stops you from making the wrong turns in life. And a lot of things that I could have went the wrong direction in, I didn't because I knew, like, even before I outwardly told people that this is where my life was headed, I knew in the back of my mind that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't put it to words because it wasn't normal. And no one really made me feel like it was okay to want to do it. Because again, my mom was big on that, go to college, get the degree, go to school, and honestly go get more degrees after that, and the more paper you have behind your name, the, more credible you are, the more, status you have and all that, you know what I mean? Like that was the life I knew. So in my head, just knowing like, I'm not just trying to be a bum. I'm not trying to live off of anybody. I'm trying to work, but I'm trying to work on something completely different that no one in my family has ever done. No one is talking about doing it. No one's even really thinking that it exists.
I was going to say no one really understands.
Exactly. So like trying to set a new trend is hard. You know what I mean? And trying to break away from the mold is very hard. So that's why I did my 2 years of college, because I had to satisfy my expectations at home. But then after that, I knew what I was going for. I finished those 2 years. I told people I'd be going back. Never did. I told people I did my 2 years and I would go, I would take a semester off and go back now. Because people were like, oh yeah, people say that and they never go back. I knew in my head I wasn't going back, but I wasn't telling people that because that's when they're like, oh, but why not? Why not? And I don't want to explain myself. I knew in my mind what I wanted to do. So I was done talking about it. I was just going to do it.
That just turns into like a whole conversation. Because then like little comments that people say can really like get to you where like you either are going to be like, oh, wow, like maybe I should have stayed. And like you're rethinking your life choices over like someone's dumb comment, or it's like their comment just makes you mad. And so then you're just frustrated and you're like,
and you can't work effectively.
Yeah.
So you just brought up something too that's really important, which is comparison. There's a lot of comparison out there, which contributes to the imposter syndrome a lot. Like, especially when you see people your age graduating, taking trips, doing stuff, and then like you're at home, it's like, dang. So social media sucks. What do they say? Moral of the story: social media sucks. I'm so tired. I can't even talk.
It's crazy because I think I edited it.
Yeah, you can't talk either. This is bad. Guys.
Basically, I cut it out of the reaction we did the other day of the Emma Chamberlain one, where I think I cut it out because of a lot of dead space, and I was looking up like her birthday and like that little snippet. But we were literally talking about people that are younger than us doing such big things.
It's crazy.
And I was like,
it's crazy.
Wait, hold on. Like, what? Like, we realized, so Emma's much younger than us.
5 years younger.
Tana's much younger than us. David Dobrik and Liza Koshy are my age. Like, they're born the same year I was. And I'm just like,
but they've been
at that point, it's like, what? Like, because that's when people start sitting there and they're like, what am I doing wrong? When literally you could be doing nothing wrong. But you're going to sit there and compare and be like, wow, like, I'm doing this and they're doing all this thing, like these big things, and have all these people and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting here with 100 subscribers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the YouTube trap. That's the YouTube trap. And dude, this is a whole other side note, but man, I'm telling you guys, like we talk about subscribers and I catch myself all the time, but we just have to stop talking about subscribers. Let me tell you why.
I look at mine all the time, but I never actually I never compare because we use the YouTube Studio app, so we could see everything. Like we could see reactions, podcasts, mine and his, all from our apps. So I'll look and see like where I'm at, and then I'll look to see where you're at. But I'm never like, oh, how does he have that many already? Or, oh, how did he beat me?
So
how does he get that many?
There's one reason.
I just kind of look and I'm like, dang.
There's 2 reasons why YouTube subscribers matters, and only 2 reasons. Are you ready for this? Features on the platform. Okay, I'll give it 3 reasons, actually. Maybe 3 reasons. Features on the platform, play buttons
Mm.
and notoriety for sponsors. That's the only thing. Because
What do you get a play button for?
100,000, $1 million, and I want to say 10 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
does anyone have 10 million?
A lot of people do.
Really?
Mr. Beast is about to have 100
Oh,
million.
yeah. Wait, that was a dumb question.
Ryan.
That just seems like a lot.
Ryan Trahan is literally about to cross 10 million now as he's rounding out this series.
That was a dumb question. I take it back.
It's not a dumb question. There's no such thing. So, but as I was saying though, like subscribers only matter for those three things. Like even when it comes to like notoriety for brands, like if you're getting a ton of views, but your subscribers aren't evening out with that, like doesn't matter. Like the algorithm is so strong on YouTube these days. Like you don't need to subscribe to a channel to know you like it. I watch ESPN Daily. I'm not subscribed, but don't you know I get recommended ESPN Daily?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter anymore. Like people don't even check their sub boxes anymore. Why? Because first of all, their sub boxes don't give them newest video. Sub boxes give the video you're most likely to watch on your sub box. So that's the other thing. Mainly, you got to just encourage people to come back and watch your videos. Because if you do that, like Ryan Trahan, I've been subscribed to him for months, right? I started watching his Penny to Mr. Beast, right? In 30 Days series. Dude was at the bottom of my subscriptions. He jumped all the way to the top. None against Ryan. I just didn't watch him as much. But now I've been watching him daily. He jumped all the way to the top. So the minute I click on my subscriptions, he's the top name there. Why? Because YouTube knows I've been watching him daily. It's all algorithm based. Mm-hmm. That's it. So I don't say this to say focus on the algorithm. I say this to say focus on making good videos so people will come back and watch them. And that's what I've been trying to do. Like just make good videos that people want to come back and watch. Because at the end of the day, title, thumbnail, idea. All you need, that's it. You don't need to compare to anybody. Honestly, if you want to watch other people for ideas, that's cool. But that's it. Like that's all you need to do.
I feel like making a thumbnail, I love making thumbnails. They get really fun for me. And I feel like coming up with an idea is okay for me. I feel like coming up with the title sometimes is kind of iffy. So once I have those planned out, I get really like scared. Not scared, but I get nervous because I feel like I have a vision of how I want the video to end up. And it could go like complete opposite. And I'm always like, oh, it's not going to turn out good. But then once you start editing, like sometimes it's like better than you thought. But once you start editing it and put more into it, like it could become a really good video.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't be afraid to scrap videos either, man.
It happens. It happens.
We scrapped reactions. We scrapped video. Like we scrapped.
We've been in the middle of a reaction and just been like, okay, stop. I haven't even fully finished. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, it's not happening.
It's completely normal. It's part of the process.
We'll go from having like 3 videos and only be posting 1. Like,
yeah, literally. It's part of the process.
That's crazy.
But I feel like we went off topic.
We really did.
So back to the topic at hand. What would you be doing if you couldn't fail?
Literally what I'm doing right now, just at that point, hopefully not a regular 9-to-5 job. I think
we're both in agreement. Like we're pretty much.
Once you said yours, I was like, we're kind of on the same page, which is so weird because like he said, he wants to look at my notes before going into a podcast. So that's just when you know we don't plan together. Like I write my stuff down when I'm planning the episode and he just comes in with his thoughts and we're almost on the same page because even our intentions for the week were kind of
I follow your cues on like the schedule of the show. But in terms of what I have to say, like I come out here and just say what I gotta say.
That's why I like to have like little topics to start, and then wherever it goes, we'll have conversations.
I don't even make notes for the stream. For the stream, jeez, I don't make notes for the podcast. I just come on here and talk.
I like structure. I like to. This is where we're gonna start.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm sitting here like, oh, structure, and I like see a whole little snippet that we usually start with that I totally skipped over.
Did you skip?
We'll say it at the end.
Okay. Oh, I know what you forgot. We'll say it at the end. You're right. But with that being said, are we transitioning now to the next part of the show?
Which is?
The question of the week.
Go ahead.
So the question of the week is the same question we answered for you guys today. What would you be doing if you could not fail? Now, for those of you that are in school,
know what you would do,
or on your way to figuring out what you want to do, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So it's either what would you be doing if you're doing something else, or even if you're doing what you want to do, or what would you do like in the future, if that makes sense. I want to make sure we include everybody. And honestly, even if you're a little older, like what do you wish you had done?
Ooh.
If you knew you couldn't fail?
Now that gets deep.
That does get deep.
That's crazy.
Get deep. So I want to hear all these because I feel like there's all.
I can't wait to read these comments.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of things.
Oh, that's another thing I can put into this. I feel like I'm always trying to go through these comments and like answer them and go. Yeah, I don't think I have. It's literally been you. And I'm like, oh.
It's all good.
I need to get on that.
It's all good. So, well, actually, speaking of comments, though, make sure you guys are leaving a comment asking us a question that you want to hear us answer. We probably won't go into it too long because we don't want to take away from the main segment of the video.
But we definitely do want to answer them. I feel like that'd be a cool little, even if it's just like a 10, 15 minute little segment before we get into things. I'm down. If you even want us to, I don't know. Well, maybe we'll shout you out in this. Being like, this is a comment from. Your name is plastered on the pot. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
If you're watching me.
And it doesn't even have to be. If you don't want to send the question, like, let's say you're like, just kind of thinking about it throughout the week and you're like, oh, I have a question. Like, literally tweet it to me. DM me on Instagram. Tweet it to Alyssa. DM her on Instagram.
Literally ask anywhere. We have so many social medias. All of them are listed in the description below. Feel free to join us on any of them. Even if you kind of have a question, you want to be anonymous.
And I want you guys to understand something too, man. Like, I'm going to say this and then I'll leave y'all alone. But the goals that we have, like me and Alyssa both have, you guys are such a big part of that. Like, you guys make and break it so much. And it's just like the amount of love that you show us, we embrace it and we love it. Like, we had the greatest stream ever today.
Oh
like,
my God.
It was so much fun. We didn't want to get off. I had somewhere to be and I really was just enjoying hanging out with you guys. So like, I love that. And the reason why we want to have more time is because we want more time for those interactions
with you guys. Like, we want more time with you. We want more time because of you, because of this reaction, because of this little anything. Some of
the comments you guys leave, like, there was so many people that just came in today, just said, hey, we love you guys. And like, that's huge, man. Like, I come from a household where we don't just throw that word around. Like, if we say it, like, we really, really mean it. So it's a big deal. It means a lot. So thank you guys. That's insane. Honestly, like, for those of you that are at VidCon this year, like, I can't wait to see you guys there next year because I'm going. Nothing can stop me.
Putting it out there now.
I'm just saying, nothing can stop me. But no, for real, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for supporting this podcast. I know we kind of just started.
We're almost at 100 subscribers already on YouTube.
I know. It's crazy.
If you guys are watching
we're almost
this
at
on
50 listeners.
YouTube. Oh my God. YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, like I said, I don't have my phone in here. I would look right now. The last I saw, we were at 74.
We're at 74 subscribers and 32 listeners on the podcast.
That's insane. And this is only episode 4.
Yeah, that's big. So Thank you guys. And not to mention, like, the episodes of the podcast still get close to like 100 views of podcasts. Like you guys are amazing. You guys are so dope.
Please, we'd love to see you.
Yes, we love it.
So speaking of listeners on the podcast, I forgot to mention in the beginning of this, we are on all kinds of different streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find your local podcast.
Google Podcasts.
What?
I said Google Podcasts.
Yeah, I always forget that there's other platforms, so that's why I literally only list those 3. But yeah, if you find your podcast somewhere else, we're probably on there too. And
I want to close it out with a random question, because I feel like YouTube was the obvious answer. What's something you would do on the side? Like, like a little, like, all right, cool, you made it on YouTube. Like, what's something you do? Like,
I actually wish I would have like a little like side business. Like,
doing what?
I don't know. Like, I wish I had something I either made or like could sell.
Like blankets or something like that.
I don't know, some type of something, like
That's
whether it
interesting.
be like
I could see you
clothes
doing that.
or like little like fashion, like jewelry type stuff.
You know, you got the Skillshare membership. They could teach you how to do all that, and they could show you how to run the store.
Yeah.
I could show you how to run a store. Online stores, they're a little like tedious to do, but they're not awfully hard.
I feel like that would be really fun, and I definitely would do that.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
I would do. You all ready for this? I would do a solo R&B career.
What the? He got these new mics and he's feeling. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm telling y'all, I think like I could do like, you know, I could have my videos be killing, right? Then on the side, I do like some music stuff, recording in the studio.
We'll take down the podcast setup and he'll be like, all right, get out. It's not my studio.
Yeah, right.
It's not my music studio.
I'm telling y'all, man, I think that would be so much fun. Just like, I don't know. I enjoy music and I enjoy R&B, but a lot of people don't make music the way I want to hear music.
You
So
gotta make it yourself.
I would make the music I want to hear.
Not a bad plan.
Yeah, I would make the music I want to hear, man.
I don't know what I was expecting your answer to be, but that wasn't it. Not gonna lie.
I just feel like that would be so much fun. Like,
I feel like I could see it because you say it all the time when we listen to music, especially if we listen to like almost like Usher Neo vibes. He always mentions it, but I don't know why I was not expecting you to say it right there.
I would 110%. I mean, I don't know what else I would do other than that. I mean, I guess like streaming is cool, but like I think I low-key enjoy music more than I enjoy streaming.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to make music, but I feel like it'd be so much fun.
You learn something new every day.
I feel like it would be so lit. I literally like, I don't know. I see these people like who make music like literally out of their bedroom, and I'm like, yo, how? Hey, teach me. AK, Danielle, Rob, like all these people, like, dude, Rob set up his whole studio. Like, I was like, bro, like, in his house. I'm like, yo,
that's crazy.
I'm driving down, bro. Let me check it out.
What are we recording today?
Yeah, right. Like we recording a track, bro.
Show up, knock
It's
on
crazy because like back when I used to like,
I bet if you just show up, you can't say no. I'm just kidding.
Right. And then, dude, and then other kid I went to high school with raps now. He just did like a concert not too far from us. Yeah, he did a little concert.
There's some people I went to school with who are like either in a band or doing their own type of thing, posting like that they're performing here and here. Yeah. And I'm like, what the?
I envy those people because I just don't feel like I have enough. Like I can hold a note, but I don't have enough musical talent to like.
I mean, but that's what you learn though. Like that's
the crowd. You know what I mean?
People teach that stuff. Like it's probably not hard to find someone to.
I knew people who taught it, but it's just like A, having the time, and then B, them having the time. You know what I mean?
That's true, but this is also like what they do.
And then I'm also shy. Like when it comes with that, I'm shy. Like that's the only thing I'm shy about.
Hearing Julian say I'm shy in a sentence, you're like, yeah, okay.
Alyssa was like karaoke next stream. I'm like, oh, good. Like that makes me so like
Julian and I'm shy do not usually go in a sentence together.
I mean, because I've sang in talent shows. Like I sang in my 8th grade talent show.
But he don't want to do karaoke, bro. Get out of here.
I sang in like a summer camp.
Join our next stream on our Alyssa Julian channel. Link down below. We are definitely doing karaoke.
No, we're not.
We're definitely doing karaoke. Featuring me and Baby Shark. Anyways. Or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse theme song. That's been my song lately. I don't know.
Hot dog.
Hot dogs. Hot diggity dog.
Okay, time to go. That's it. Podcast over. She's singing Mickey Mouse. Catch us
in next week's episode where we talk about vacations. I definitely said this in the last episode that we'd be talking about this episode, but Julian wanted to switch it up a little bit. But I feel like next week would be better because it's right before Julian leaves. So we'll probably talk about his cruise, how he's getting ready, how excited he is for it. We could probably talk about where we've always dreamed of going, where we just want to go, what places,
Dubai.
What places look really nice.
Dubai.
Anyways, that's for next week. But that's all I got.
That's all I got too. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope we didn't keep you too long. And I hope this was supposed to be lighthearted, but I feel like we got so deep. We started talking about imposter syndrome and stuff.
And Julian's sitting here talking about, we don't have to do hour-long episodes every time. Tonight might be like 30, 40, 45 minutes. And here we are. What does it say? We're literally about to reach an hour.
I thought this would be an easy, chill episode. I didn't realize we get so deep, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Not a bad thing. It's just so funny. Because like I said, you never know which way these things are going to go. So
Really,
it's like
Exactly. But that's it, guys. We're out of here. Keep grinding. Keep chasing your dreams. Remember, nothing worth having 'cause easy, man. We out. Peace.